Hello and welcome back to the Finish Line and episode 8 of our Cheltenham Festival Ante-Post video. As always, joined by Tom and Andrew Blair-White. Boys, just finished wrapping up our weekend preview, which we covered just before. So, loads of winners again, lads. And Shauna Austick, which I left to the last minute, which Tom nearly absolutely stabbed me. She's running on Saturday. She's going to win according to Tom. She's going to absolutely bolt up by 10 lengths. His words, not mine. Andrew, you back me up.
Yeah, and he also told us LeBroy was winning at Warwick on Saturday by 10 lengths as well. Despite a dual entry, but you know.
And LeBroy is running at Catterick. So hey, what do I know, guys? That's why you shouldn't follow me in with those kind of tips. But you should back my Cheltenham Festival.
But scrap all that and listen to me now. So, as always, we're going to give our Ante-Post tip for this week, be it for any race. We're not going to concentrate on any races, so we just leave it up to what we want. So, Tom, you're at our kind of giving yours a little shout, so you can start this week.
Yeah, my internet has slowed down here a bit, but this is kind of one. Again, and it's unlike me now. I've now put up a tip in the Fred Winter, and I'm about to put one up for the Boodles, which is a bit mad. But
the hardest race of the festival.
You've just said you put one up for the Fred Winter, and now you're putting one up for the Boodles. Are they not the same race?
Jesus Christ. Andrew, get this Andrew off. Like, I'm twice now. And he's just sat there waiting until I'm shut up and then gone, I
should have waited to the end.
Yeah, you should have waited to the end. Yeah.
Never change.
No, I put up Calixios for the Triumph. And he is entered on Saturday at Fairy House. I'm just checking. Looks a pretty hot race, but I'm interested to see how he gets on because I know everyone's raving about Zana here, but there was a lot of good talk about Calixios when he came from France. So I'm not giving up on him just yet. The one I'm going to put up for the Boodles, and this is a little bit price-based, it's also based on the fact that Gordon has Calixios and he has Zana here. And I would imagine he thinks that they are the two of his best Triumph horses and by a good bit. So I think this horse will run in the Boodles. He'll have near enough top weight, I can pretty much guarantee, but and that's kind of the is if he gets into this. But I think he will. I think he'll have around 140. You can win off that kind of mark in this race if you're the best horse. And the horse is Dufflecoat. Been to Cheltenham, got the job done. Has had 4 runs in his life over hurdles and in his life, full stop. Has won all 4 and has won all 4 very well. His last run, he beat Adagio by 5 lengths. And he was given Adagio £5. Adagio has come out to properly frank that form. I think Dufflecoat sat out the back that day, but he came through them and still a bit inexperienced, maybe. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see where they go with him. And I think he's got a hell of a chance, to be honest. He's 16,
I really like him.
Yeah, he's 16-1, which just feels crazy big for me. When I don't know if he was going to get into a Triumph and into a Boodles, then I think Gordon would probably want to run him there and keep him away from the other two. And then you look at the Triumph market, and I think he's 10-1. I think. So I just think those prices are the wrong way around in my book. He's 14-1, 12-1, mainly 10-1 in the Triumph. So at 16s, I'd be happy to back Dufflecoat for the Boodles.
He's had 2 very good wins over in England. He was a Warwick or somewhere like that. He won first time out. Where?
Wetherby,
yeah. I actually backed him there and Cheltenham. He was very far back at Cheltenham, and he did well to come from where he was to win. Would ground have to be soft for him? I see all his good performances have been on soft as heavy ground.
No, he's actually won on good ground. And it's
out the fucking window.
I've actually looked at this, lad, like I looked at the Broy. But yeah, Yeah, no, his performance
This fella's from the champion hurdle, so
and good to soft ground. So no, that's no problem for him. I'm pretty keen on him, to be honest. I think he's the wrong price at 16s.
no, I like that. Now I like him. A lot of experience behind him could stand him all the good in the world in that race.
Yeah, been to Cheltenham, which helps as well.
Yeah. Andrew, we get on to your selection now.
Yeah, well, mine this week it's a real heart overhead one, because it's just probably a cliff horse, probably because a cliff trainer. But he's more than likely to run in this race and more than likely to run well.
Evan Williams.
Yeah, well, God save your Evan.
Oliver on board.
Stargate, Evan Williams.
Yeah, well, if there was a seller at Cheltenham, he'd have to have a chance. No, in the Ultima Handicap chase, obviously a very tricky race. Horse that came third in the race last year, Discorama.
Oh, he was my cliff horse, and I just can't give him any more chances.
25-1, second in a Martin Pipe, second in a National Owen Chase, third in this race last year. He was third in the race last year of 148, then ran super behind Milan Native on his reappearance. Milan Native's been blatantly being plotted for, I think, the National or the Irish National, one of the two, this year ever since. So that form can't be looked at too much face value. And then they ran him over at Cheltenham in this 6-runner, 3.5 mile handicap chase. I don't know what Robbie Power was doing. I don't know whether the phone didn't work on the memo with Paul Nolan and riding instructions. They tried to make all with him. He's always been a hold-up horse. As a result, though, he was off 150 that day. He's going to be knocked down a couple of pounds because he was absolutely pants that day. I do realise Paul Nolan's had a terrible season, and I love Paul Nolan, and I keep backing his horses, even though I'm getting no returns for them.
Is he your uncle?
No, not in the slightest.
Does he sponsor you? I'm just wondering what a connection is.
Just a great man. The first Grade 1 winner I ever saw at Leopardstown was on Stephen's Day in 2013. And he had a novice chaser in McManus's Silks. I cannot remember the name for the life of me. The horse died then very soon afterwards. But anyway, he was the first Grade 1 winner I'd ever seen at Leopardstown. And I was trained by Paul Nolan. Ever since, I've been hooked. This horse, look, he's exposed. Is he likely to win? Probably not. But 25-1's a decent each-way bet for a horse that 100% is going to run well at Cheltenham and will be primed for the meeting. So it is a complete heart overhead, complete cliff horse, but I think he'll run well.
I used to love him so much. Every time he ran, I used to back him blindly. Cheltenham now just broke my heart. You said Robbie Power. Like, Robbie's had to have an awful season. He's had to give some horse stinkers, and that was one of the worst. Oh, I'd love him to win. I just thought, I'd still back him, though. If it comes in the day, I'll kill myself if he wins and I haven't had a penny on him. But what stands in my mind, last year, everything was in his favour to win it last year, and he still ended up getting beat somehow.
He's just the type of horse that he seems to be everyone's cliff horse. Like, no matter what, he'll end up, like, if he does run in the Ultima, he'll end up 8-1 or 6-1 or something. Everyone will back him each way because he's got a good Cheltenham record, which is, like, he went off, I think, 5s for the race last year, which was a dismal price, considering he's always likely to run around and come behind something. But 25-1's more the type of price you'd be interested in.
This time I'll jump off the cliff, the tide will be out, and I'll hit the rocks, and just not getting up again. One more chance to hell with it. Come on, Disco. Right. My one is, I kind of talked about him for the last 2 weeks, and it's in the hope that he is going to go here and avoid the greater races. Whether he's running on Saturday as well, it's on the blind side for the Pertemps. I had to get a price on today. He wasn't priced up, so 14-1 is the price you can get on the blind side. It's not that I like the horse. I never really talked to him, but this season he kind of getting his career back on track. He was He was won his Cheltenham Handicap in November. Then he was second in December. Then he's recently after coming second to McFabulous in the Rekeel hurdle. And I think 3 miles around Cheltenham, he will be top rate. But these handicap these days are very compressed, and the really good horses that are in these handicaps always run to their level. You'll always find top rate horses in these, either win place or they're very close. But I think 14-1 in a race that's wide open. His form this season has been good. He's had form behind, as I said there, McFabulous. He's won a big handicap. He'll go from the front or up at the pace where you need to be in these, away from trouble. I think he'll run a decent race if he goes there. He's running against Little Rockefeller. I think a marker race. He's 11-4. I think he'll have a good chance if he runs in this. I was looking at what to put up today, and there's not much that really took my eye. And then I was thinking, on the blind side, I've been on about the last few weeks. 14-1, yeah, that'll do. 14-1 for the Pertemps final on the Thursday, I think. Yeah. So he is my pick for week 8. I don't even know if I have a winner yet. Probably not. Anyway.
I must say, just based off the last video we did, I've almost convinced myself into backing Master McShee at 40-1 for the Supreme, though, as well. Like, especially given that the price will completely be gone by next week if he does win.
If he wins on Sunday, he's going to be tens. At least tens. So what, 40-1, 5 each way, 10 each way, whatever you want to do?
There's worse bets in that market, I believe.
Yeah, I think I'll have a little poke on him. Open a Sky Bet account. Sky, he's 40.
Actually, yeah, 40-1 with Paddy Power on Betfair. It's a good angle. Each way I'd be backing him, but yeah.
And you're right, since we finished this, about 12 minutes in, we'll go for a little while. Any other news this week that has caught your eye? Horses running anywhere? Anything else? Oh, will we touch on the story about Bryony, the extra bit that's after coming on? We touched on it on Sunday. There's more after coming out with Robbie Dunn, or is it Robbie? Not Robbie Dunn.
Yeah,
Robbie Dunn. Apparently, this is all speculation, so don't quote me on it. Something happening. Tom, you know more than this. You go for it.
I'm only going on what I heard now, but and that's in the media. There's no inside info here. It was just that, and this was before this Robbie Dunn tight-lipped article came out with the Race Post, but they were just saying that apparently some of the row was because of something happened in a race that resulted in somebody falling off. I don't know. Just gonna have to wait and see. But I think Robbie Dunn said something along the lines of he said in the Times, he said most jockeys work on the basis that what happens in a weighing room stays in the weighing room. It's under BHA investigation. Leave them do their work. So I don't know what happened, but
sounds like she'd have to get in a bollocking, and something was probably said. She didn't like complained, and now the boys are nose are out of joint. That's like, what are you doing? What happens in here stays in here. It's like in the dressing room. It's like in the dressing room of any football match. Like when I was playing football, if you're playing at a decent enough level, you're going to get a bollocking if you do something wrong in a match. There's plenty of time I got a bollocking. You take it. You get on with it. I never took it though. I always had him out just to go back.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah,
it's just not the era we live in.
To be managed.
It's just not the era we live in, because it's the same in the FAI and that video that came out before the England game. And someone from within the dressing room leaks to an English newspaper that an anti-English video had been played to the team like before the match and stuff. It's like, who the hell is leaking that? Whether you agree with it or you don't, like, I think you have to do stuff internally. In fairness, this is being done internally. Should Bryony have said what she did in her article? If it's going through the BHA, probably not. But at least this is being done internally. But I just think this day and age, everything's changing. You just can't do it now.
Like this is totally off what Bryony, but I've noticed that when I started, well, I kind of was winding down on the football career. The younger fellas coming up, what I noticed were, anyone, I was a goalkeeper and so on. I'm one of these vocal goalkeepers where I will have a go at you, but nothing is ever personal. I hate losing. I'll always hate losing, be it bloody ping pong, tiddlywinks, football. I hate losing. I always want to win and always will want to win. Young fellas,
how do you back horses then?
I don't know. It's kind of my zen zone on the back horse. It's the only thing that I'm calm at. Like, I could be sitting at home watching Cheltenham Gold Cup, and at the first time Album photo one, I was like, yeah, I'm on this fella's 33-1. I'm just sitting here. It's weird. But yeah, look, yeah, you have goals at young fellas. I see young fellas like 18, 19, 20-year-olds where you're playing Premier football and they just go into their shell and they stop playing all of a sudden. And you talk to them at half time in the dressing room and they're like, sure, I can do it, sure. Sure, just do what I'm asking you. Stop being a little bitch and do it. And then after the match, everything's forgotten about. What happens on the pitch stays on the pitch. What happens in the dressing room stays in the dressing room. It's, Tom said, this day and age, you can't say boo to someone these days and they take offense to it. I think that's what's started happening now with Robbie Dunn and all them.
Who knows? We'll have to see what happens.
One more thing that actually I seen was announced today, that amateur jockeys are banned from riding in England as of Saturday. Did you see this?
Is this COVID related?
COVID related. Amateur jockeys barred in Britain from Saturday as BHA reveals rule changes. Let's go along with the points being, and so on.
The points are actually off over here as well now, which is a major blow. It's a huge industry. Scuppers, it came to pass, was having a run in a point in a few weeks' time, apparently. So that kind of scuppers his plans now, which I'm a little bit worried about because he bolts up at Cheltenham. That's bolts up.
You missed it last year, though.
I can't believe I missed last year. I honestly, I sat down afterwards. It came to last. I was like, oh shit.
How did I miss it?
I couldn't believe it. Yeah. Its race is still in my mind when it fell 3 out for Jim Cullity. It's still in my I can still see it traveling so well.
I'm surprised it got to the third last train by Jim Cullity.
But yeah, that's
imagine how good Lord Windermere would have been if he was trained by someone decent. Imagine. Probably would be the best Gold Cup winner we've seen in recent times.
That's why you're buying horses with us now. Send them to good trainers. That's the key.
See, I'm telling you, for Henry de Bram here for years, but you're only copping onto it for now.
Is there anything else you fancy for Cheltenham? Or is there a race? Is there a race that you're interested in? Like the Albert Bartlett's one, I really want to sit down and go through nearly every runner because there's got to be a bet in there somewhere.
Do you know what I was thinking? I was looking at it today and I was going to put him up by his favourite, but I think he's by far the biggest favourite and the best favourite of the festival. Paisley Park for the Stairs Hurdle at 7-2. It's a ridiculous price. Absolutely scandalous price. He's going to win that. He's going to boat 100% Paisley Park, no heart attacks or whatever. I'm going to call heart attacks a Dave now. No Daves. And he bolts up. He's ridiculous. He's by far the best horse in that race. Head and shoulders above everything else. It's himself and Time Hill, and the rest will be fighting for third back a furlong or so.
Interesting to see there's some money for Sire de Burley today. He's blue across the board. This is going to be interesting now because Gordon's horses obviously weren't 100% at Christmas.
No.
So, how do you judge them? So,
right, I'll ask you a question now. Hand on heart. Do you think Sire de Burley's can get to the level of Paisley Park?
Probably not, no. Can I see him being placed? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, probably. He loves Cheltenham, obviously. Cheltenham Festival form always comes to the fore every year. He'd probably be... No, I think they're only fighting for third. I think the first and second are sorted already. I think Paisley Park, Time Hill, 1-2. Right, go on with your Albert Barrett. I kind of cut across you there. Sorry.
No, I want to go through it. I don't know what I'd be putting up. I just think it's such a wide open race. Nothing's appeared.
It's not. It's not
Bob Olinger is 7-1 favorite with Paddy Power. Like, what's that like? I know. Sorry, Brave Man game is 6-1, but this tells you actually more. Brave Man's game is 6-1 with Paddy Power, and he's 20-1 with Betway. And Bob Olinger is 7-1 with Paddy Power, and he's 16-1 like across the board. So there's that much of a difference in prices. Nobody knows, what's going to run here. But
I'd say they're so sharp based on non-runner money back.
Well, no, they're not doing that. So
yeah, Paddy Power are. Paddy Power non-runner money back in all races.
Makes sense. Andrew, the one I was actually looking at there, and I was interested to see how he'd run today was Ashdale Bob. He could be a live chance for that. He's got a good profile for a tough, hardy horse, and
yeah, look, I really liked him for today, and gosh, it was an awful disappointment seeing what happened today. But I think he's got a fair chance. It's one of those. I feel it's another one of these horses I've apparently stolen because I put up Statler at 20-1. And then a week later, Gavin Lynch has put him up at 16-1. But no, I've stolen Gavin Lynch's selection on Statler.
That's disgraceful. How could you do that? How could you predict the week before that he was going to put that up?
I have to go back and watch those from the start now, up until like last week or something. In fact, no, I don't want to because then I'll get accused of putting someone back. I really enjoyed the show. Like, I think it's a brilliant show.
I love Gavin Lynch, and to be fair, when they say something after you've put it up, you are there going,
yeah, I know what I'm on about.
Because you know
after he put up a Plutard. I got abused off of these two, and then they were like, he's no good. Handicap. He abused the shit out of me. Don't even go back on it. And then Gavin Lynch turns around. He's like, "Oh yeah, Plutard, get it."
I just think Statler is one of the very few horses in the market that's actually going to run. Like, you look through the market, nothing's running. Like, especially at the top of the.
I actually really like one in this, and he won last weekend. Is Barbados Bucks. I really liked the way he gave lumps of weight away. He looked in trouble at one stage, and then Harry Cobden gave him a smack of the whip, and Jesus Christ, he took off. It's not going to be anything like last year's ones, where you're going to have Monkfish, latest exhibition, Fury Road, and Time Hill in it. It's going to be like Brave Man Game, Bob Olinger, or Ballymore bound. Then you've Ashdale Bob, Barbados Bucks, Ngolo. It's as Tom said, it's one to get stuck into.
The one right down there that I've no idea what happened to him last day, but he's got loads of ability, and there was obviously something wrong. Is Holy Macapony?
Yeah.
Now, you couldn't back him based on what happened the last time, but that definitely wasn't him. There has to have been something up with him. But 33-1. If you knew he was rocking and rolling, then 33 is a big price by him.
Yeah, if you take before that race, he was clear favourite for this.
Yeah, and now look, he pulled up. Like, there's something wrong with the horse by the looks of things. So he's got to show his well-being. But yeah,
he stopped like he was after being shot. There was 100% something up with him, and we haven't seen him since. So
he was dismounted immediately as well.
Yeah.
So I think they were just lucky. Obviously, it didn't look like there was anything fatally wrong with him, which is, very good news. But it is, I suppose, it is obviously just a little bit of a leap of faith that you wouldn't get a news bulletin in a day or two time that he's out for the season. Like, that's probably the risk you take. He's probably won, if you could get 33-1 non-runner no bet. Because if he came back and won a race, he'd be back into favourite or second favourite, because that Gallard de Menil form is red hot.
Even if he just turned up there, you'd know as well.
You can get 20s.
You wouldn't take it for the crack. You 20s,
can. Yeah, 20s non-runner no bet.
I'd take a bit of 20s non-runner bet.
I've seen worse bets, just because I think the form of his, as I say, that Gallard to Manil form is very good. And then he was a short price for that Navan race, which looked a decent race on paper as well. So they obviously think highly of him, but you're just running that risk with him. But I do think Statler's got a lot going for him, personally speaking. Apparently, I think he's going to run in, is it a race around Thurles that Monkfish won last year? I think over 3 miles. I think that's where he's heading next, and then he'll be on to Cheltenham after that. God, if he wins at Thurles and wins anyway usefully, he goes very short, I'd say, because there's nothing else in the market at the moment.
And he was good at Leopardstown as well. He was very impressive. So
just stays.
Yeah, I wouldn't put anyone off
for that. You don't need anything flashy for a normal Albert Bartlett.
Like last year's Albert Bartlett was completely out of trend. Like you had 4 really good horses and classy horses as well at the back of the last. Usually it's won by dogs.
Was Ramsey's the tie like nearly favourite for it the year before or something?
He was nearly favourite for it last year.
Yeah,
because he was the stats horse.
Dave was all over him first before all the lead up to it.
Yeah, I remember that. That's how I remember he even ran in the fucking thing.
But that's one now I'm going to get stuck into now during the week. Yeah, I like Barbados Bucks though. And there's a lot in it. With the 3 that we mentioned there now have a good chance. They're all decent prices. But right, we wrap it up. So we got selections again. Mine was on the blind side for the Pertemps.
Mine is Duffel Coat for the Boodles.
And Discorama for the Ultima, and also just a shout out to Master McShee for the Supreme as well. A little Brucey bonus, that one.
Brucey bonus. Right. So again, lads, thanks for watching. Give us a like, subscribe, comment below with your selection for this week. And we are back on Sunday for Talking Points, where we will review everything over the weekend. So have a good weekend, and we will see you again on